This last legacy, what we decided that we were going to believe for was our finances, for one. Having a brand new company, just almost a year old, and then with COVID, it was definitely a struggle, but we knew what God had called us to, and we knew that God was going to get us through, and not just get us through, but really bless us through that company. And it was times of struggle, but we decided we were going to give to Legacy, and we actually increased our amount from the previous Legacy because we knew what God was calling us to, and the finances weren't necessarily there, but we knew that God was going to provide, and He has been faithful in that.
Yeah. Along with believing for our business to grow and see growth in that with our finances and starting a business during COVID, another thing that we were believing for was to see growth within our marriage. This past legacy, those were things that we had really set down and really knew that God was going to come through. And just this past year, we've seen restoration, we've seen healing within our marriage. But with that also, we've seen growth in our family with our children. We've been able to see them walk through and step out what God has called them to do. So I think that's one of the biggest things, aside from our growth in our business, is just seeing the healing that God has brought. And a lot of times with legacy or with giving, we kind of forget and we always want to go straight to finances. But the biggest thing that was on my heart was just to see our marriage and our family go to where we knew God wanted it to be. So we just seeing God do everything this past year has just been so amazing. We couldn't even imagine when I remember filling, I think it was the card, filling it out. We couldn't imagine where God was going to take us and what He was going to do. So He's come through, and He's actually done more, I believe, than what we had really thought when we were filling out our pledge card.
Yeah, it's incredible because when you're believing for something and then you actually walk through it and see God do what He said He's going to do, it in theory it sounds great, but when you're actually walking through it, it's hard to believe. But that's how good our God is.
And we're just looking forward to this next legacy. Like Eric said, once you walk through it and you see it, your faith goes up a notch. And so this year, we're just excited not only to step out and what we're pledging, but what we're going to receive and what God has for us this next legacy.